long pull round. There it is. Happy days.
We're just getting straight on with it.
Right then guys, welcome to another episode of Hooked. My name's John Murray and I'm an angling addict, and today we're out at Southfield Reservoir with the bandits. So all of the club is pretty much ready to go. That's Rod down there, just sat facing us. Hi Rod, you alright? Good man. Mr Keeley beyond him. We've got Clive Coops on the far end peg. Plum draw for that lad. Next to me we've got Rob Oyle down here, John Ford next to him, Marcus, and then I think we've got, I'm not sure who's on next peg, I can't see. We've got Stuart and we've got John. Oh, and it's Glyn. Glyn's in between. So, the plan today is basically feeder fishing for bream. I've got 3 rods set up. I've got a medium 12 foot, I'm going to throw that out at 45 metres. I've got the 11 foot light, which I'm going to throw out at 24 metres. So them's my 2 lines for today. Have to excuse me because I'm absolutely full of cold. I've had it for a week. The last feeder rod I've got is actually a method rod, and I plan to fish over the top of the pole line. Put pole line in at 13 metres. I've got 2 rigs on that. I'll show you them as we go throughout the course of the match. Just haven't got time to go over everything right now. But yeah, basically I'm just going to feed the same feeder ground bait on there. It's 3 parts Vandenine G5, it's 2 parts Sweet F1 and 1 part Thatcher's. That's what I've pretty much been using for all my bream fishing lately, and you know, it seems to be working for me, so I'm just sticking with it. So yeah, let's have a look at the bait anyway. So usual array of baits. We've got worms which we've chopped up, dead pinkies, dead maggots, some lovely casters to feed over the pole line. This is the ground bait. You've seen this before in the last few videos. If you haven't seen the videos where I've been using that bream mix, I've been fishing it on the Aaron Calder a lot. I'll put some links to them up here. Go and check them out after you watch this one. So as I say, I'm going to pop in some ground bait on the pole line, put a bit of emp on that, and then just feed caster over the top. Idea being that we will potentially pick up a bream on it, but if we don't get a bream, then we've got a good chance of getting into the roach, and it's always a good backup line on here. But I mean, looking at the conditions, I'll just give you a view of the reservoir now. It just looks absolutely perfect for bream today. The wind's blowing in at us, it's overcast, slightly warm, so fingers crossed we're going to get a few. Right guys, if you enjoyed the videos, don't forget, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Okay, let's get sat on the box, we're about to start. That's time. Right, so I'm just going to feed in a bowl of ground bait, some dead reds, bit of emp, and a few bits of chopped worm on my pole line. I'll just pick a marker with a pylon out there. Oh, that was a pull. A little bit of a rattle there. Didn't go around fully, but it was definitely a bite. I've not put any worm in yet. Just started with dead reds. Rob's got a small skimmer. We're both struggling to loose feed on the long line. We've cut some bait out and the wind's coming at us. It's difficult to fire caster out to 13 metres, but we'll persevere. I think I'll bring mine back because I had a little bit of a rattle on the tip and it never went. Rob's fishing at 50 metres, I'm 5 metres inside of that. I think the fish are still there. Yeah, definitely had a chewed maggot there. Might scale down in hook size. Just now, I'm just going to go with a single red. Tip it with pinky. That was another tiny little knock there. That's a bite. We're in. We're bagging now. Feels about the same size as yours, Rob.
One bite every half an hour, bagging.
Yeah. Tiny skimmer on.
Nice one's gone dead now,
Emptied your peg. Oh, it's just come off. Right, skimmer's in the peg. I think I'm going to just drop the hook size down. Lost that one there, but not a great big fish really. So I'm just going on to a 16. Don't want to go too small. We'll stick with single red and single pinky on the hook. No further bites there. Even dropping the hook size down. We'll give it another chuck on this long line. Rob's had one more little skimmer. Yeah, that might be the problem. We've had a bit of leaf on the bait. That's a pull, and we're in. Rob's just landed a skimmer as well. I think I'm just shy of 5 minutes on that cast. There's definitely a few skimmers to be had out there. Nice, so we're off the mark. They're only small. So we're just fishing standard heli rig today. Usual quick change swivel on there, couple of stop rubbers, tiny little swivel loop, and we're using a 30 gram Matrix Horizon feeder today. Hook length at the moment's not 1/0. Preston reflow down to a size 16 Drennan carbon match hook, and the bait is a single dead red and a single pinky. and that's a pull straight away. Really quick bite. Probably inside 30 seconds there. That's a bit better one. Lovely. That's a great pull. Proper bite. Just under 3 minutes for that, so definitely getting a few fish on the feed now. All the while I'm feeding this inside line with caster, just as a backup. This feels a better fish. Still not a monster, but could be a pound plus. It started swimming at me, a bit strange like that. Well, that's a nice little bream. Double dead red. Well, that was a 5-minute chuck and no sign on that go. We'll have another one. Not getting liners, so I don't think it's worth coming inside yet. But it might be worth having a look on the pole line. Yeah, no signs of a bite there. Right, well, no more signs on the tip after 5 minutes there, so I think I'm going to have a look on the pole line. If there's not much doing, I'll go on my short feeder line. Just keep my eye on everybody fishing around. If anybody starts catching bream, like Rob to my left or Rod to my right, then I'll get back out on the feeder. Right, so I'm going to go out on the pole. I've got a 0.6 gram AS8 floats today, and that's probably set about, well, probably only got about 3 foot of depth. Got a little bulk of number 8s there, little trim shot just to trim it off, and then 3 number 10 droppers, spaced about 4 inches apart, down to a size 20 hook at the moment. May increase that. We'll just see if we can get a bite to start with. In feeding caster, going to fish dead red on the hook. The float's holding pretty stable out there. I can tell there's a bit of tow to my left. It's just pulling off to the left a little bit, but it's holding quite nice. Presentation's good. So far, no indications of a bite. So it may take a while for fish to come onto this line. Well, there's nothing there, so I think I'm going to top it up and go on the short line for a bit. So I'm going to introduce a few pinkies and maggots into the feed. It's a bit of a throwaway line, the pole. If it works, it's worth putting plenty of feed on it, holding fish in the area. So 2 big balls of ground bait laced with maggots and pinkies. Now I'm going to give it another big cup of them and a big cup of casters to really stick some bait on the deck. I'm just going to spread it around a little bit. Make sure I've got a bit of an area to fish over. There we go. Right, so on the short line we've got the same heli rig set up and put a hook length on yet, but we'll go with a 16 again, and we're using a new fish smooth hound cage feeder on that one. Just going to put 4 loads out on it, put a bit of worm in as well, but I'll still fish maggot for the time being. So 24 metres this one. Okay, so we've got a little bit of bait on. A little bit of bait on the short line. Let's get a hook on. Well, Rob's just picked a bream up on his short line, so we're probably on the right line right now. That looks like it might be a bite. Is that going to go? Something just had a dab at that. It never took it right, did it? Right, we'll bring that back. Definitely some fish in the area. Rob's still loose feeding his pole line, but I've decided to stop doing that and just cup the feeding. Obviously I've given it a big top up now, so if something's going to come over it, hopefully it'll just settle there. We'll drop on them, pick up on them. Oh, picked up, we're into a fish. No sign of that. There's a good fish as well. Whether I foul hooked it, I don't know. Don't feel a bad one. There we go. It's not fouled. It's in the mouth. And he's in. Lovely, lovely stuff. Mr. Bream, we love you. Right, if we've got a few chunks about, I'm going to try a little bit of worm on the hook. I'm only on the size 16 still. Just use a tiny little bit. That's it, it's only a delicate bit. Well, the wind seems to be getting worse, and it's also sort of pushing a little bit more to our left now. It's still coming in at us, so the pole should still be fishable, but if it turns around and goes on its side, the pole will be unfishable, in which case I'll throw the method feeder over the top of that line. Well, that was another 5-minute chuck with no sign on this short line, even though we had that bream previously, but I never had a sign of that one. So the little bit of worm out worked. Oh, there was a bit of a pull there. Again though, was that a liner or just a short tug, and it never came to anything. There's definitely fish milling around. Worth sticking on this short line a bit longer. Yeah, well, that was definitely a bite. Smash maggot again. Right, I've decided to go back out on my long line, see if I can snare another bream. There's not much coming out. I'm probably in front right now. From what I understand, Stu's had a couple of big skimmers. I think Rob's had a small one and a couple of better ones. I think Rod's had one to me right. I don't know if there's much else being out. So we'll just alternate the lines, try and find a fish or two. Well, it's looking quite hard. Rob's gone on the pole and he's been on it about 5 minutes now, not had a bite. I've just been out on the long line for another 5 minutes, not had a bite. So I'm going to come back in on the short line. Not the very short line, middle line if you want, the 24 metre line. I'm going to try triple pinky. And I'm just going to swap my feeder down. Use one of these little midi cage fighters, just in 20 gram. So quick update, JK's had a bream and a perch on the pole. Well, JK's got another bream. So it's 2 down to my right. Right now we can't get a fish. And Mr. Black's got one as well. Well, that's another 5 minutes on the short line and nothing. So maybe Pinky isn't working now. Oh, well, it looks like we've had a chewed Pinky. Never saw the bite. Is that a pull? That's a pull. Come on. Missed that one. Something out there. Should have maybe sat on my hands a bit longer there. That is a pull. And we're in. Just had a feeling it was going to go. Feels a bit frisky, this one. Cheers, cheers Rodney. Another little skimmer. Look like a tiny indication there. This has been about 8 minutes. Well, I'm just having a 5-minute look on the pole. If I don't get a bite, it's done. Doesn't look like the fish will come this close, and it's really quite strange. Nobody's had anything on the pole at all. I think John's the only person maybe who's had a perch. That I know of anyway. That was a minor indication on the long line there. First bite we've had in probably a good half an hour plus. And it was next to nothing. Just the tiniest of flicks. And that is a pull, and we're in. There's a fair weight between the first little indication and that actually going round. Not a big fish again, feels like another skimmer, but anything will do today. Yep, just a tiny one. JK's landing a big old fish down there. Yeah, another slab for John. Proper one. Looks like JK's leading at the moment. Right, I'm going on the scoop feeder. I've just seen a bream stick its back out of the water between me and Rob. Probably only about 10 metres out. So I've just got the little 10-foot rod out. It's actually clipped up at 13 metres, but that might actually be too far out for these, but can't throw it at a bream and expect it to bite, so we'll just fish this really short line with the tip. Give it 5 minutes or so, see if it goes round. Well, it looks like Clive's into one now. Can't get a bite short at all. This 13 metre line has just been hopeless. Thought after seeing a bream roll there might be a few close and over that ground bait that we put in earlier, but doesn't appear to be the case. I think we're going to have to go back on the 24 metre line and have a few last chucks and hope for a pull. Yeah, it looks like he's about got it in the net. And it looks a big fish. Oh, that's a lump. That is a lump. Hey, hey, hey. When tip stops going around, it's just demoralising, isn't it? Well, looks like we're knackered now. Rod's got another one, so the 3 pegs to my right are throwing a few fish up late on. Well done, Rod. Well done. Look at the size of it. Oh, Rod's bagging up. He's got another one. Nearly. Making a meal of it. He's trying to swim in your net, that Rod. Well, JK's in again, Rob's in again, and I just can't get a bite. And that's the end. So, not sure I've come anywhere other than mid-table today. Just haven't had the fish. There's been some big fish out to me right. Rob's just had a nice one at the end, so he's probably done me as well. I think Rod's got at least 3 good ones. Yeah, disappointing day for me. Hey ho, we'll get wrapped up. We'll do the weighing.
11 ounce.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh, fabulous. Oh, great. Oh, I have to send them on.
Yeah,
He's doing alright, isn't he?
yeah.
John, first
Now, I
word.
want you to f***ing listen to me because
Hey,
John's
don't
doing a
swear
load of
in
f***ing filming and editing, and it's a nightmare for him. We're all f***ing swearing on it, so nobody f***ing swear.
Right. How many have you got?
I'll test your beeping machine out.
But it is a nightmare.
A couple of proper ones there.
£6.6.
I'm pretty sure you could do mine today.
You know it's a bad day when you get beat by Rod Black.
You don't know yet.
I do.
How have you beaten him?
You've got £10, haven't you?
I think I'm just short of £10. That's with my guess. And I've left the fish counter at home, but I did it on my fingers.
I don't think I needed a fish counter today.
£3.13. Stop liking. You're not good at it. You're not good at playing the game.
This is about as big as my little fish.
Plus them 4 £3 slabs that they got.
Not much, my fella.
6 ounce.
6.
Right, now we're getting up to weights. We've got Rob, then me, and then it's Rod.
Was it me?
I'm going to see this £4.
John, and then Clive.
Look at 4-inch. It says I'll be lucky if I got £5.
No,
So that
I
means if
didn't
you
say
got
that.
£6, you're unlucky.
I said I ain't got £5.
Yeah, I've got
And I haven't.
So these are the weights so far. Don't think I'll have £6.6 to be honest.
Well, I actually couldn't see him.
Nice get out of jail fish that one, Robert End.
5.10.
5.10.
5.10. Oh, Rob's unlucky.
Not £5.
He didn't get £5, he got 5.10. Yeah, he is the winner, I think. John Murray.
Shut up. You've had 3 great big slabs.
No,
John's had 4 and Coop's had at least 3, haven't you, Coop? Shut up.
Another one there hanging on.
What's winning anyway? 6.6. Oh, who's that? How many here?
6-1.
6-1. 6-1. You want to check that? Hang on, let me play it. Oh yeah, it's right. Yeah. Must be all of them, John.
I told you they were tiny, tiny little fish. But you don't believe me, do you, Rod?
5.15.
Oh, well, they've been sweating.
I'm having first weigh, thank you. 6-1. They've been losing weight.
They're all on feeder, John, or a bit of both?
Everything up feeder, mate, yeah. Couldn't get anything on pole at all. Rubbish. Disastrous.
Not like last time.
No, it won't. Get a great big bag full here. Couldn't lie straight in bed, Rod.
Nine,
9-11.
9-12.
Look a surprise.
Just shy of £10, I said. I'm not bad now after all.
Decent size, boss.
You said you'd had an out.
I mean, I didn't have a roach or a perch.
£10 then, JK. You got it. Had some nice slabs, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, I got one.
You got smashed off twice.
I know, Rod. You lost one coming in, didn't you, John? Yeah, big and all.
Bad angling.
Don't give him,
Yeah, some of that.
don't give him any comment.
You've got a perch in there, John.
Second ring down, John.
Yeah.
Just do it.
First chuck in, that was that perch.
Right.
First chuck in. Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh.
8, 14. Yeah.
Is it 8-14?
Oh, it's got up to 9 now.
Going up?
9 don't make any difference.
9-0.
Wait again, it'll be 15.
Hey, make sure you do get this on film, John. Rod Black's won a match.
He had, yeah.
This Clive still weighing, and I think he's done pretty alright.
He says he's got 1 2-pound bream.
Come on, Coop. We've seen at least 2 great big slabs come in here. Struggle. You got a few skin bobs?
Yeah, couple.
Yeah.
All on feeder.
Feeder.
All on feeder. Oh, one on waggle.
Rod's won it.
Yeah, £9 there.
Even worse, Marcus. Not only has he beat you, he's actually won.
And he got to jump in for that.
Thrown in.
4-10.
You're doing all right in league, aren't you?
No.
4-10.
Oh, third and third. Yeah. That, I didn't go on Aston, but that was the one there.
Oh, sorry.
So,
I ain't even won section.
oh dear.
Well done, Rod. John second, Stuart third, and then sections will be Angling Addict and Blin.
I even call him John.
Well done.
Right then, guys, well, I'm back home, as you can probably tell. It's a few days later. Unfortunately, I lost the footage at the end of the match where I did the little roundup. So massive well done to Rod on winning the match there. Cracking result for him. So yeah, well done, fella. Yeah, I lost that little skimmer at the start. It's probably cost me 3rd place there. I've missed out by, what, 5 ounces? Stuart had £6.6. I've weighed in £6.1. They actually weigh quite heavy. I mean, they're only little fish, but, you know, even the small ones seem to weigh 6 ounces, maybe up to 9, so you just never can tell with those little fish. On the plus side, at least I've taken the section by default. Anyway, I'll get all the results up for you now. So as you can see, one more fish probably would have got me in the frame today. Unfortunately, I'm still languishing down at the bottom of the league table at the moment. Stuart's absolutely smashing it up at the top, so big well done to him on framing again. Yeah, I didn't weigh in at Aston Park, obviously, so that's not put me in a good position, but you know, we'll just keep plugging away and try and move up that leaderboard. Right, next week I'm back out on the canal in the Murfield Spring League. Hopefully we can get another result out there. Thanks for watching, guys, and until the next one, tight lines.